You just do whatever the heck that they were doing.
I did the Taliban training workout for 6 weeks. Welcome back to another episode of the Perkfitt podcast. Joining me again is my wife. After a hiatus, we had Matt on, longtime friend, and we did like a bourbon tasting. I don't know how it went over. With all the fitness people, but
did you read the comments?
There weren't many comments on YouTube. We don't get many comments. We don't get many views, to be honest.
Well,
I think we get more listens than views. So,
that's interesting.
You can't really leave a comment on Spotify, but you're back.
That's
you're back
true.
From your hiatus.
The dead.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
So, how's it been going?
Well, just fine.
Just fine?
Yeah.
Great.
I made croissants this week.
Oh, you made croissants this morning, actually.
Well, I made them yesterday.
Yeah, it's a really long process. It doesn't, it takes days.
Yeah.
But they're phenomenal. I'll throw a picture up because, they're photo worthy.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a picture this morning and posted it on my Instagram. It was like my wife's like making it hard to stick to the diet plan. Because you made, not only did you make croissants, but you made chocolate croissants. Yeah, and they're phenomenal. They're incredible. I don't know how to, without our viewers, listeners eating them, there's no way for them to truly know like how good they are.
It's true. They can imagine it though.
They could if they've had a good croissant.
Yeah.
But who knows how many people out there? I feel like not. Maybe more than I'm thinking, but I feel like just most people.
So they're just eating crescent rolls.
They're eating crescents. from Pillsbury. The crescents.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those aren't bad.
Those are good, but they're like a.
It's a different food
kind of
group
good.
altogether.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was really exciting for me. Also, I just had to do. I did more cardio today. Not that I did enough to work that off because it's a lot of calories, but it felt worth it for sure because they're so good.
Always.
I got a message from Matt Forte, who we've talked about before. NFL running back for the Bears for years. He's retired now, but he's like my age. He's retired. He retired at in his early 30s. But
how old do you think you're going to be when you retire?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever retire.
Oh. Never?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. What is it? Wow. If you don't have like a conventional job, I don't know.
I mean, at some point, right? You're just like, you know what? I did enough.
Yeah, but I'll still want to do stuff for fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matt Forte, he shot me a message. He's gonna fly out here. We're gonna do a workout together, so I'll record that, and then we're gonna do a podcast, like in-person podcast.
Whoa.
But Matt is up 14 pounds, and it's like lean muscle.
I was gonna say, isn't that bad?
No, he's trying to build muscle.
Oh.
The idea was we were trying to build lean muscle, and if you look at his like befores and currents, like photos, it's like you can't tell a difference.
Yeah.
It's incredible because it's like he looks the same, but he's gained 14 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we just did a deload week, and now he's moving into a cutting phase. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully, at some point with his permission, maybe I'll share those. But he's crushing it. But I'm excited to.
You're gonna leak his pics.
Gonna leak his pics. I don't know what happened. I'll just say that the place was hacked. My friend Matt, who was on the last episode, and I used to have a music blog forever ago.
Not Matt Forte.
Not Matt Forte. My friend Matt, who was on the previous episode, the whiskey guy.
Lots of Matts.
So there's a lot of Matts in my life. My dad's name is Matt.
It's true. Your middle name
so
is
many
Matt.
Matts. My middle name is Matt. Anyway.
Are you sure you like me on this podcast?
I think it's definitely more entertaining.
Yeah, of course.
With you here, no doubt. Oh, we used to have a music blog, and one day it got hacked.
Cool.
And whoever hacked it put up like pro-Taliban, like jihadist, like it was just a Taliban page. And I was like, I was so panicked. I was like, what do we do here? This is not a good look for us.
Yeah.
And I was able to figure out, like, it wasn't like a sophisticated hack. It was something that I did, that I left something. I left the door open.
The Taliban stuff up.
Yeah, I hacked my own website and put pro-Taliban stuff up.
Nice. Creative outlet.
So I was able to undo it, but I was so panicked. Yeah, just a story about being hacked.
The Taliban.
The Taliban. Have you seen that video of the Taliban working out? There's like,
no.
Like, I think it's like maybe a U.S. military base. We left, and there's just like workout equipment in the gym, and they don't really know how to use it, so they're just like riding stuff. And I'll throw up the clip because it's phenomenal. Like, people need to see it.
This would probably definitely get taken down. But what if you did, like, you know how before you've done like some famous guy's workout or something? Yeah. If you did like the Taliban workout.
Taliban training workout.
And you just do whatever the heck that they would do.
I did the Taliban training workout for 6 weeks. You won't believe the results.
That's a good April Fool's one. Too bad
that's phenomenal. Yeah. And I think that even if I came out and said afterwards it was an April Fool's thing, I would have already lost a bunch of people.
Yeah, but it's worth it for the goof. That's hilarious.
For the goof? I don't know if it's worth it for the goof, but that's a pretty damn
feels
good
like
goof.
It is. That's so funny.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
If people are listening now, fast forward next year, hang with me till next year. And we may do that as an April Fool's prank. Wow. We were covering some ground.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. All right, well, do you have anything else you want to say before we jump into some questions? Any updates? Oh, you've been going to the gym a lot in the morning, super early.
Very early, too early.
How's that been?
Oh, it's been fine. I just go there and I work out. Yep. And then I sit in the sauna and then I come home. Which
was crazy because you were telling me about the sauna in the women's room.
Mm-hmm.
In the restroom?
In the locker room?
In the locker room? I don't know. It's a women's only area. It's just, I don't know.
Yes.
And I was like, well, we don't have one in the men's room. And we do apparently. I just didn't know it was like back there behind the shower. So
yeah, it's great.
Probably because I didn't get a tour either.
Yeah.
Of the place. So that was like a pretty exciting discovery that you made for me. But you just been working out and it's just been fine. You don't have nothing else to add about it?
Still sucks most of the time, but
you don't enjoy it.
No, not really.
But the sauna part you do. That's fun.
That's the reason why I go.
Okay.
So I've been also reading a book about habits. And so they talk about habit stacking, where you do a habit that you want to do with the habit that you don't want to do. So it makes you do the one you don't want to do because
you just like pair them
the
up.
one that you do want to do. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I don't really want to go to the gym, but I like going to the sauna. So
right. That's a good idea.
The gym to do the sauna. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, but it's been fine. People at the gym are weird. I wish I could take videos of everyone and post them, but I can't.
But we can't do that because Joey Swole will take us down.
Yeah, but there's this one cool girl who I would talk to if I could. She seems so cool.
She seems cool?
She's super tall.
What makes her cool?
I don't know. She's got a cool vibe.
Cool vibe. Uh-huh.
Yeah, tall.
Yep, she's tall.
She's got braids. She just looks cool.
Okay.
She's really strong.
Well, maybe we can track her down, see if she wants to be friends.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I'll just admire her from a distance.
But that person's not weird. That you think they're cool. So, but who are the weird people that you're talking about?
Oh, just people.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like the morning crew, I see the same people every day. They're all kind of there every day. But I don't talk.
I've probably never seen those people because I don't go that early ever.
No, I'm there at like 5.
Yeah, that's early. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people have to do that. It's the only time they can go. So.
Yeah, I have no other time in the day.
Yep.
But I go to the sauna. It's nice.
And you habit stack.
Yeah.
Habit stacking.
Habit stack.
Habit stack.
Yeah.
Habit stack.
Have a snack.
Have a snack. Habit stack. Okay. Do you want to jump into some questions?
Sure.
Because we always have questions from the viewers.
Wow.
And what I mean by that is like the Instagram story
Super
viewers.
fans. All right. Well, how complex should my training program be?
How complex should my training program be? Well, it doesn't need to be complex. I think simple's better. I think people think that complexity is important because of this misconception that like muscle confusion is somehow leading to hypertrophy, which means like you got to just constantly be doing different movements and mixing it up and never doing the same thing, which would make the program complex. But that is not at all like helpful. Like if you're trying to build muscle, if you're shooting for hypertrophy, you need to do the same movements, progressively overload the same movements for 10 to 12 weeks. And the program needs to be well-rounded, but it doesn't need to be complex.
What does well-rounded mean?
I just mean it needs to cover the bases. Like you need to understand what muscles you need to train and how much volume to train them with. But simple is better. And what I mean is, you know, for 3 or 4 movements for a muscle group is perfect. It's enough. A lot of people think complex is better also because none of the programs that they're on are working for them. And it's usually because they're just like hopping from program to program, not actually putting the work in and not actually doing what the program calls for.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you get to a place where you just think that, oh, I just need to find the right program. None of these are working. When in reality, I have this happen a lot with clients. They're just not putting the work in.
Yeah.
They're not doing what the plan is asking them to do. And so they're not seeing results. But that couldn't be the case in their mind. That has to be, I have to find a new program. I just haven't found the right program yet. And it's not like complex enough. And that's just not true.
So it's their fault.
Not all the time, but it can be their fault. Yeah, for sure.
A lot of
I'm sure there's a lot of bad programs out there. There's so many cookie cutter PDF plans that are just available out there. You can go buy for, 15, 20, 30, but who knows what they're charging for them. But I think that's the difference between.
I would like to find out. So
yeah, let me know. But I think that's the difference between. I used to do that when I first started. I was doing like cookie cutter PDF plans, but now I'm like, there's no like one thing fits everybody, and everyone has different goals and has different weak points and different like needs. Like so a lot of people can't work out 6 days a week and they don't have certain equipment. So the plan really has to be tailored to them, but it doesn't need to be complex.
Can I eat whatever I want as long as I'm in a caloric deficit to lose fat?
You can eat literally anything as long as you're eating in a caloric deficit. That means eating less calories than it takes to maintain your current weight, your current composition. So you could eat literally anything and lose weight as long as you're eating less than what it takes to maintain your body composition. But the thing is, if you just eat garbage and eat less of it, you're still going to feel like garbage.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose weight maybe, but your overall health is going to suffer. And if you don't get a certain amount of, if you don't hit your macros, if you don't get a certain amount of fat and protein and carbs in your diet and you don't have vegetables. I had a client was like, do I have to eat vegetables? I don't want to eat vegetables. I'm like, yeah, you have to. What do you mean? You have to eat vegetables. Don't you know the pyramid? Like you need to have a well-balanced diet.
Yeah. You
can't just eat garbage and then, I mean, you can eat garbage and lose weight, but you're going to feel like trash and you're just, it's not the best. Don't do that.
Do I need steroids to get as big as you?
You don't need to do steroids to get as big as me. I'm not even big.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me. I look big.
Just look at me.
Just look at me. I'm not that big. I look big in the photos because of, there's nobody standing next to me that's bigger than me. I'm just like, you don't have anything for scale. It's like Matt Forte's progress photos. There's nothing for scale. So you don't know, if you put me next to a photo of him, he's like 225 pounds and he has like the same body fat as me. If I stood next to him, you would be like, oh, I don't need steroids to get as big as him because he ain't that big. there's a natural bodybuilder that I follow. His name is Brian DeCostas, and his physique is insane. Like, you would swear that he is on something, and he's not. He competes in the natural bodybuilding circuit, and he looks crazy. I mean, he's like 230 pounds, and he is absolutely shredded. So no, you don't need to take steroids. You don't need to do that. You just need to work harder, most likely, and get your diet dialed.
What's the ideal time for a post-workout shake?
It feels like a dating question. When's the best time to like buy her a drink?
Also, the word shake is always so funny too. I can't call it a shake.
What do you call it?
A smoothie. Because I don't just like mix
sure,
it
but
up with something.
a lot of smoothies don't necessarily have protein in them. You know what I mean? So they're not. It
Yeah,
feels
but
like
just-
if you say a shake, you're like, it. Of course, that's going to have a protein
just puts
powder
me off,
in it.
you know?
You just don't like the word shake.
No,
Okay.
it's like a body shake.
Yeah.
So what's the best time for a post-workout body,
Body
shake?
shake.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people think you have to get it. Well, a lot of people think you just need a shake after you work out and that's it, and you need to get it immediately. You need more than just a protein shake right after your workout.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily need it right after your workout. And what I mean is, you need to consume your post-workout meal. It shouldn't just be a shake.
Why?
Let me say this. In most cases, that's not ideal. There could be a few cases where just a shake post-workout is enough, but most likely to hit your macros for the day. And I would say these are the two most important meals of the day, your pre and post-workout meal. So I would make them meals, and most likely it needs to be more than a shake, because you need more than just protein. Like, you need, fats and carbs to go towards your overall intake for the day and help you hit your macros. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people think, as soon as you're done working out, you need to get a protein shake in you. Otherwise, you're going to lose gains or something. And that's not true at all. You need to make sure that you're doing a pre-workout meal. And we've talked about it a million times, but the carbs in that meal are going to fuel your workout. The protein in the meal is going to put your body in the anabolic state during the workout. And that is, I think, the most important meal of the day. So if you're not doing that, you need to do that. And then your post-workout meal, the timing of that just needs to be within 6 hours of when you ate that pre-workout meal. So you can count to 6. You could figure this out. But you should be consuming that pre-workout meal like an hour to an hour and a half before your workout. Then you have another 4.5 hours afterwards, whatever, to, in theory, get in those nutrients post-workout. Now, like we said, a lot of people have to go to the gym super early, like 5 o'clock. So it's hard to eat an hour and a half before that, which makes things tough. But if that's the only time you can go, then you could do like 30 minutes is probably the closest I would do, because you don't want to feel like, bloated or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could do like a shake and some oatmeal or something would probably be enough. But that's the timing, within 6 hours of your pre-workout meal.
All right.
And it probably should be more than a shake.
Are 16 sets a week for triceps good for hypertrophy?
Yeah. They are. Yep.
16. What is 16 sets? Like, give me what would that actually look like? 16 sets a week for your triceps.
So if you do one exercise, like I said, you probably need to do 3 or 4 sets of them. Most people do 3 sets. So if you do 3 exercises at 3 sets, how many sets is that?
I don't know.
9. So if you did 3 exercises at 3 sets on one day for triceps, that's 9 working sets. You would need to get probably more than that. So you'd have to hit it another day or add more volume to that training day. The recommended sets per week for like a beginner to an intermediate is somewhere between 12 and 20 sets a week. So 16 is right in that range. And you just need to figure out how to break up those sets if you're going to do one tricep day which a lot of people probably aren't. You're going to break it up into 2. Shoot for somewhere in that 12 to 20 set range. The thing is, people will go like one of 2 ways. And they'll go like, oh, I just need to get, I'm not seeing results. I need to do more volume. I need to do more sets. If I just did more exercises with more sets, I'm going to see more. And a lot of times they're not quality sets, and you're just burning yourself out. You're doing so much volume that, number one, it's not like good volume because you're not actually pushing yourself, and you're not getting into that like 1 or 2 reps in reserve range. And most people just won't.
Have you ever had a dream where you want him to do you so much you can do anything?
A lot of people just do way too much. They'll just go overboard, do a ton of volume. It won't be something they can recover from if they're good sets, and chances are they're not. It's not good volume. And then the other end of the spectrum is like going into that 12 to 15, 20 set range per muscle group, but there's no intensity there. Like you're not coming to that, again, 1 to 2 reps in reserve. There needs to be that intensity with those sets. That's enough volume, but they have to be good sets. Yeah. So the answer is yes, but I would just maybe do an audit on the quality of those sets.
Thoughts on adding peanut butter to my protein shake? Yeah,
I mean, I think it depends for 2 reasons. One is I had a friend who vaguely understood macros, wasn't really tracking them, but like knew, enough to know probably around the range they should be shooting for as far as calories and fats and stuff like that. And I remember having a conversation with him one day talking about peanut butter. And he was like, oh, yeah, like ate a cup of peanut butter. And I was like, what, you ate a cup of peanut butter? What do you mean? He was like, yeah, it was like a cup of, it's like a cup of peanut butter. And I was like, do you have any idea how many calories that is? And he's like, it's not that many calories. I'm like, yes, it is. For whatever reason, people don't understand how many calories are in peanut butter.
Yeah.
Now you definitely need to get a certain amount of fat in your diet. A lot of people, again, a misconception is if I eat more fat, I get fat. Like if I eat fats, they're going to turn into fats. And that's not true at all. Like you need a certain amount of like good fat in your diet. And you can get it from like avocado, or peanut butter is a great option if you want to throw it into your shake. But I would just like make sure you're aware of how many calories you're putting into that shake with that. But yeah, you can. Go ahead. Add it.
Live your life.
Live your life.
Do you recommend fasting?
Why are you laughing?
Because it feels like a spiritual question.
I think it only feels like a spiritual question because we've been involved in ministry like for a long time. I think if you just
I feel like the concept of fasting is
I feel like it's
pretty religious and spiritual.
Sure. But I think it's shifted recently.
Sure.
To more of like when someone says I'm fasting, people could be like leaning more towards it's for health reasons or like your diet or something.
Maybe
with intermittent fasting. Maybe I'm just
not in my church world. There's never a time that anyone says I'm fasting and I think they're doing it for.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I said. We both work in ministry, so that's all. It's always spiritual. Do I recommend fasting? I think spiritually, I think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. A fantastic exercise. Is it? Would you call it an exercise?
Yeah, discipline.
I think it's fantastic and it has a lot of benefits that spiritually. I have a lot of clients who are right now in Ramadan, and so they don't eat from like sun up to sundown. And obviously that's going to affect the meal plan that I gave them. Yeah, it doesn't really fit. But, if it's a spiritual reason, it'll most likely take over or take precedence over, your physique goals or, your health goals or whatever. Like if it's spiritual, if you're trying to do like intermittent fasting, to lose weight or, I think it can be a slippery slope because number one, like I said, the pre and post workout meal are so important. So it's hard to, when you're fasting, it's hard to fast like at normal times and get those meals in. Mm-hmm. Like you're missing out. You're missing a major window there.
I mean, you could just fast from like dinner to breakfast.
It's just called sleeping. I sort of fast like when I'm cutting, like I'll wake up and have a shake. I'll wake up and get a shake. So I get like a certain amount of protein in me. I add a ton of ice into it. So it like fills me up. And then I don't eat again until that pre-workout meal, which is usually like 1 or 2 o'clock. And so that is sort of not really fasting, but it's like being strategic, but I'm not missing that pre and post-workout meal. So I'll eat that meal, and then the post-workout meal will be dinner, whatever you're making that night. And so I think, if you just wanted to lose weight straight up, intermittent fasting might be something that helps you. If you need to just be like so regimented that you just don't eat anything all day long, and that's helpful for you, and I don't know if it's sustainable. I feel like that might be harder to do.
I feel like it just like so quickly goes into like disordered eating land, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing about fasting? One of the things I love most about fasting that I discovered from doing it for spiritual reasons is just like exercising like self-control. Mm-hmm. It's like, I have so much respect for people who do it because it's like food is a necessity. Like you don't just want food, but you need food to survive. So when you say I'm not going to eat food, that is like the ultimate like self-control move. And I had a lot of respect for people who do it because it's just like it's so disciplined, and it takes a lot to do that. So yeah. But again, and pitfalls. Be careful. Watch out.
Watch yourself. I tried doing 75 hard.
Yeah.
And then
what happened?
Well, I went out of town. That's really what happened.
Okay.
I fell off
That's why you weren't at the episode.
Huh?
You were in Kentucky. Is that it?
Yeah, probably. But I went to New York, and then I came back, and then I went to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's why you weren't on that episode.
Yeah. So then I was like kind of like 75 semi-hard. and then it was like 75 soft. Yeah. So we're still kind of in it, but
what do you mean
by that? Not as intensely.
Okay. So you're not doing it.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Basically.
75 hard. 75 days of it being hard. Is that right?
75 days straight.
Is it 75 days?
Yeah.
You tried it?
I tried it. I would probably do it again. It's just like hard.
It's hard when you have a full-time job and a baby. 75
It really
hard.
is.
It's really hard.
Well, and I was like doing something where like I would do, because you do 2 workouts a day.
Yeah, 2 days.
Which if I didn't have a baby, fine.
Sure.
I could easily do that. But I'd come home from work, and then we would either like go for a walk or something like that. And then she just got into a phase where she did not want to be strapped into her stroller anymore. So I was like, well, that's kind of screwed me over. So
now she's in a phase where she's just screaming.
Yeah, she loves to just
angrily
scream at anything. Yeah.
For just no reason at all.
Yeah. Well, I think she's just getting to a point where she doesn't have the words to communicate what she actually wants to say. And so it's very frustrating.
But she's never had them.
I know, but now she's like very aware, because she's like, I know exactly what I want to say. Yeah. But I can't say it to you. So she's really frustrated about that.
Just screaming, which is an interesting development.
Yeah.
It's not awesome.
So hopefully we have a vocabulary breakthrough soon, but
Yeah, but she didn't want to be strapped into the stroller. You
So
never know. Well, I don't know what's next. It's like, does someone know what's going to happen next? Like, what's she going to do next? We've had children for thousands of years. Can we not figure this out? Someone tell me what she's going to do next. Like, what will be the next phase so I can prepare for it?
You could research it.
Okay, maybe I'll do some research. But it seems like it's just so random.
Yeah, it does always.
Like, her preferences will be just change instantly and be so different. I'm like, my parents, certainly they went through this with me, and and I'm here still. So it doesn't feel too overwhelming, but it's also like, fuck, this is crazy.
Yeah, she's a crazy girl.
And she's never sat still. She just is.
No, she can't.
She just goes.
Can't do it.
I remember taking her out to the church lobby during a service. Out there with like 3 other babies her age. And they're just sitting there.
I know.
They're not doing nothing.
So nice.
They're just sitting there.
Can you imagine?
And she's just like a fucking ping pong machine.
I know.
Just, I can't keep up with her. If I turn my back for 1 second, she's gone.
I know.
And she was only, she wasn't even a year old. So I'm like.
She could never, even as a tiny girl, she couldn't even like lay her head down to do something. She always had to be looking around doing something.
It's got to be, one of us is to blame. I don't know whose genetics it is, but.
I feel like both of us.
Yeah. We always have to be doing something, don't we?
Anyway, 75 semi-hard didn't go so good.
You're 75 semi-hard.
Yeah. But it did get me back in the gym consistently, which is
Great.
good. And I'm starting to read more, which is good. But here we are, day something, and every day I get a notification on my phone. It's like, did you complete your...
Was there an app or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's any shame in it.
Sometimes it's okay to fail.
I think it's like a prerequisite to making any progress. Exactly. Unless you look at the failure and you can't get over it.
Yeah.
But there are always opportunities to learn and grow.
So true.
I don't always take advantage of them, but I certainly try. Okay, well, it was really fun to have you back. I didn't mind having Matt. But at the end of the episode, I was like, I miss my wife. Because you had been gone for I don't know how many days. And I was like, bring my baby and my wife back, please.
Yeah.
But it's really good to have you back, even though you've been back for weeks.
That's true.
But you're back to the podcast this week. Yeah. And Matt said something about him becoming the co-host, and I said,
absolutely not.
Well, I said you might not actually have a problem with it. Do you want to ask me one more question to finish this thing out?
Sure. All right, the last question is just, you gay?
This is a podcast for people who do gym stuff,
and others
do gym stuff too.